I'm a freelance travel writer, and ordinarily I would be travelling the world and filing stories for newspapers. But at the moment, thanks to the pandemic, I'm grounded, which for me has ended up pretty much meaning I'm on full-time childcare duty.
Helen is one of hundreds of women across the capital who have had to forfeit their careers during the pandemic to look after the children.
I feel very frustrated that I've ended up in a position that I just never imagined for myself at all. I always planned to work more or less full-time, and certainly in equal measure to my husband.
Research shows women were 1.5 times more likely than men to do the majority of childcare when schools and nurseries closed.
Women hoover up the majority of that domestic labour, and really that just comes from gender stereotypes, you know. I mean, it just starts from birth, it starts from pregnancy, that children are seen as the responsibility of women.
That's not my dolly.
Once you exit the workforce, for whatever reason, the longer you're out of it, the harder it is to get back in. And I think that's just exacerbated with every month that passes.
Once those women are out of the workplace, it's very difficult for them to get back in because mothers have particular needs. They need really good quality, cost-effective childcare. They also need to work close to home so that they can collect their child if the child is sick, and they need flexible working.
I'm Jane, I'm the founder of Careering into Motherhood, and when the pandemic hit, I suddenly found myself being a teacher as well as trying to run my own business. My mother is quite ill, so she is one of the super shielded people, and we certainly couldn't risk exposing her to any potential contraction of the virus.
Jane says her business suffered as a result of childcare issues. There are fears that problems like this will lead to fewer women in the workforce.
My biggest concern currently is redundancies. The key criteria they're using for deciding who's going to be made redundant are whether they've been available and how good their performance has been recently. Now, inevitably, through no fault of their own, the performance of mothers has deteriorated over the last 8 months, and so we're seeing a mass exodus of mothers from the workforce.
It was that push me pull you feeling of I need to be doing this, but I also need to be doing that.
It feels an unbalanced financial relationship now, which feels to me like a throwback to an older time when women did have to rely on their husbands financially. That was something that I thought those days were gone.
Charlotte Franks, BBC London.